can't give what you don't have. When you are talking about integrity, you are really talking about the real person, who that person is.
When you talk of integrity, you talk of honesty. To be honest. And to be honest means to be trustworthy, to be truthful. And politics is science and art of government.
Politics is about the people.
Yes.
And if you talk about it in a deeper sense, it has to do with how people take decisions on how to lead themselves.
It's a beautiful day here at the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja, and I welcome you to this week's episode of Christians in Politics. Election is here, and it's the era of campaigning by all political parties. Voters looking forward to exercise their civic rights, and the umpire, INEC, fixing all loopholes in ensuring a credible and well-accepted polls. I am Korede Akitunde, and with me is Lucky Erakweme, a political analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well done, sir. Thank you for coming.
Compliment of the season.
And same to you. And I also have Abuja Unwaya, Director, Civic and Political Affairs, Church of Nigeria. Morning. Yes, well done, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Looking into the preparation for 2019 general election, that's what we are going to be considering today. Our crew went to the streets to get views of Nigerians. Let's have a look.
My assessment, my general assessment about the coming election, I want to start with the security aspect. As a matter of fact, we are not security prepared for it. There are still pockets of killings here and there in Zamfara. There are pockets of killings going on in Borno State. We were told that about 6 local governments has been taken over by the Boko Haram in Borno State. So as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the security issue, we are not prepared for it. But generally, based on what the president has been saying, the INEC and everybody, I think maybe partially or politically we are prepared. But as far as I'm concerned, Nigerians are agitated because we are skeptical of what is going to be the outcome of the elections. We are quite skeptical about it. When it comes to preparation, and I don't think if INEC is even still prepared for it, as far as I'm concerned, it comes to the PVC issues. A lot of Nigerians have not collected their permanent voters card. I am from Borno State. I transferred my PVC to Abuja here. I was told that it was going to be ready by the end of November last year. To date, I have not collected my own. Invariably, that tells me that I'm not going to vote in 2019 again. And there are thousands of Nigerians are also having the same thing with me. They are just saying in Hausa that a Good Friday starts on Wednesday. Invariably, what APC demonstrated to us in Ikiti and Osun State is telling us that they are failures.
Issue of my voters card, I'm an Idoma by tribe. I've gotten my own voters card. But the way I'm seeing this election, it's not that the election will surely for sure it will hold. But the security aspect of this election is like the way the security is going on. Either is a little bit biased, I can't tell, because it's like they want to use the security in threatening people. That is this present administration. Because what they did in Ekiti there is not a real election. It's not a real election, but they only use security to threaten people by all means for them to win what they want. Nigerians, they are ready. But few, the ones that are not ready, are the ones that don't have their voters card. And due to some areas, when you go to the collection unit, once you come there, for them to give you is a problem. They will be telling you, go come, go come, go come. And you know, the way the situation of the country is now, we are hustling. You cannot be wasting your time standing on the line there from morning till night. Next week again, you go back. It's not easy.
Thank you for staying tuned. This is Christians in Politics, and we are looking at the preparation for 2019 general elections in Nigeria. Let me come to you, Mr. Lucky. The preparation for election, let's consider people's orientation from what we've seen. Almost everybody's concern is on security. What's your take concerning people's orientation thus far?
Once again, good morning, viewers. My take is, I'm always an optimistic person. I see the positive out of every negative situation. INEC are preparing for this election. The preparation may not be good enough. And as the people we interviewed on the street said, security is key. The threat of the security personnel, the way I'm seeing it, is a bit different from what they are saying. I'm not seeing it from the way of the risk to life of voters. I'm seeing it from the angle of security personnel tailing towards maybe particular candidate or particular party. And that's where the problem lies. The security are the greatest, right from Second Republic, it has always been a problem where police get involved in movement of ballot boxes. There was a particular election then that the ballot box was still in a hall, and the election was announced in Benin from voters from a particular unit in Abuja. That was way back 83 election. So that's where I'm afraid. The police, they are key to this. Not even really the army. The police are key to this election. So they should please play by the rules. That's why you see people clamoring for the removal of IG. But I know that that's not the solution to it. But who is the next person coming? You can remove the next person will be closer to the government in power than the one that is going. So the police should speak to their conscience that this election must go on well. The area of security to threat to life. Last election there was war in Maiduguri. People still voted, but my concern is policemen partaking in ringing election to favor a particular person. So that's where we need to watch out. I want to appeal to the management of police force and the federal government that purely for control of police force to speak to them neutral. To be neutral. We need them to be neutral to have a successful election.
Venerable, you're a bit close to the INEC, and having been an observer, do you see this preparation thus far from INEC as something of an improvement from previous ones?
Well, for quite some time now, since the administration of Goodluck Jonathan, there have been significant progress in the area of improving on all the the systems that will make us get a free and fair election. But my brother, or one of the speakers that responded just now, spoke about Osun election.
Yeah,
I'm from Edo State, and something certainly was wrong with Edo State election. It's very it was very glaring. We also watch all the video clips over and over in the television. I have all my people in all the nook and crannies of Benin, some in Benin City, some in Ekpoma and other parts of Benin. We got first-hand reports. Something went wrong, but it was swept under the carpet. Then the same thing we heard of Ekiti. Many people believe that something went wrong with Ekiti election. Then that of Osun became the peak. However you want to look at it, majority of Nigerians are educated. They are observers, whether accredited or not accredited. They are observing from their different corners. Majority have been referring to that election that something went wrong.
So can this cause voter apathy?
That does not mean INEC have not improved in so many ways. Of recent, I saw an app that was designed of recent by INEC, iReport. And with that iReport, you can give information, eyewitness information directly to INEC headquarters, and they will be able to pinpoint the exact polling booth and where you are speaking from. So those are things they are doing to improve. But whether the security personnel will allow things to work out is another issue. Like the Osun election, where many people allege that policemen deny them. Once they know that you are not a member of the ruling party, they deny you from getting to the polling. So those are the issues. Not to say that on the part of INEC they are not prepared, but you can prepare, and at the end of the day, somehow the whole thing will be turned around. Yes.
Let's look at the issue raised by some of the people that we just watched.
Yes.
In terms of the area of killings going on, some are having the fear that in these areas, even of recent, the governor of Borno visited the president, and you can see the passion of how tired the man is in terms of the level of security in the northeast. Do you think these are political issues, or by the time the election comes, things will die down?
Well, you cannot separate all this from politics. It may not all be about politics. I have always harped on the fact that most of all these things have to do with religion. Many people may not share that opinion, but I believe if we tell ourselves the truth, we'll be able to solve the problem from the very root. But my own concern is that even in election observation, we don't just observe election, what happened on election day. We look at pre-election period. Now we call it watching political environment. You know that the tension in Nigeria today politically is just too high. And certainly that will take me to the first issue you raised. That can lead to apathy, voters' apathy. People want to secure their life first. They want to be alive before you talk about who is governing. So many people may think it's expedient for them to stay away. But I want to say that if we do that, it will be a terrible error on our part. No one should allow any person to intimidate him not to go out to vote when the time comes to vote in this general election. It's very important that we note that people politically, many people are intimidating people, but no one should succumb to that.
Let me go back to Mr. Okay. Do you see the issue of INEC and the political parties having issues with appointments of people like Amina Zakari and co, possibly affecting the outcome of the elections?
I don't think that will affect the outcome of the election, because I was listening to chairman of Zenith Labour Party yesterday, and this similar question was asked, and he said, as far as it's concerned, that will not affect any election, because the result got it from states are recorded in states, and it must tally with what is sent to the center. If before the result is sent, like what Jega did the last election, the guy was basically announcing what was sent from states by the VCs that were register rec officers. Yes. They come with their papers, they show the results, and they hand over to him. His duty is to collate and announce. So the results are announced even in states before coming to Abuja. If you bring 1 million results from Lagos, and somebody in Abuja is telling you Lagos is 300,000, it won't be possible, because it's clear. Local government by local government is collated, and word by word is collated. That will give you final result of local government before that will give you total result of a state. Yes. That will now be sent to Abuja. And the woman in question, as that was said yesterday, is not even the chief electoral officer. And the chairman is chief electoral officer of the country. And respected professors and vice chancellors are going to bring results from states. So how can one person increase those results? It's not possible. That is that. My point is, political parties too, they are going to, after the police, they may also be a threat to this election. Because I don't even think our politicians are prepared. Because they want to win at all costs. And winning at all costs comes with a lot of consequences, comes with a lot of negative actions. So I think politicians also speak to themselves that this election must go well. Because most of them don't have any other job. If it does not go well, they will remain jobless. So as much as we talk to the police, talk to INEC, to me as variables, INEC are doing their best. Their best may not be 80-90%, but they are trying to really talk to people. And politicians also learn to talk to people and to encourage people and to do things that will make people to vote.
Now, can I quickly just take on that issue of appointment of Amina Zakari?
Yeah.
I think what is happening here is sheer political insensitivity. This tension that is in the country is unnecessary. Everywhere is already tensed up. Then we should not take steps that will further tense up the political environment. Now, or make people to lose faith in the process. Now, what happened in Osun and what happened in Edo State, what happened in Ekiti is what has given room for this tension. And I don't want to go into whether Amina Zakari is a close relation to the president. Those who are not announced, those who are close ally of the president before are all proving the point that they are biologically related. But if they have come out, Amina Zakari have come out to say they are not related, who am I to be arguing that? But perception matters. When you are going to talk about the integrity of election, you are going to talk about fairness, the perception of the public, ab initio, no counts. Now, like as he has said, last year, like 2015, I was in the National Collation Center. I was one of the persons accredited. I was there when all those elections were being announced. But you need to be there to see the setup. We are in the main hall. Jega was sitting at the center with all the commissioners, all of them on the high table. But all key INEC officials, especially the ICT department, is in the next adjoining room. And from the entrance, they put on it is out of bound. So if you say it is out of bound, and it is from that room, the people comes out to come to the high table to make announcement. Whenever there is error, like some professor, there was one particular professor that came and he was confused. And he was saying, "Now me write this thing with my own hand." They say, "Read that now." He cannot read it.
Reverse election.
So many confusion like that. They always say, "Okay, take your paper back to the computer room and go and reconcile the figures." And we are sitting, waiting until they come out. And they say that place is out of bound. Now, when you are saying that Amina Zakari is going to be in charge of the setting up of the venue, that is where people are concerned. If the setting up of the venue includes the electronic, includes the computer, includes whatever arrangement that an outsider may not be privileged to know what the details. Going on. But I'm not so much afraid that figures will be manipulated there. But my own concern is that if majority of Nigerians are saying we don't want this woman there, what is the big deal? There are so many commissioners, there are so many directors. You need to know the number of directors that are in INEC. Can't another person do it? It's only in Nigeria I see that people are telling you, don't serve us. We don't want you to. You say, I must serve you. I must serve you in this. No, you don't do that. You see, the preparation that INEC is making has been so good as far as I'm concerned, but this kind of a thing is undermining it. Okay. This thing is making the people to feel that INEC is up to something, that will not augur well for Nigeria. I think if I'm allowed to advise, Yakubu should please appoint another person. I quite agree he will be the presiding officer, but if there's an officer that many people are saying we don't want the person to be in this thing, she can take care of any other thing on that for this very occasion, then there's no big deal. And if he's not ready to do that, Amina Zakari should let the Oga know that because I don't want my name to be messed up in this thing, let me step aside, give me another portfolio to handle that is less sensitive. Okay,
that's a variable's opinion, and you are saying to you it doesn't matter. Now let's move to what INEC released recent, which is the registered voters. INEC released 84 million registered voters who are expected to participate, even though they might not be. And Lagos has the highest number of registered voters with 6.5 million, followed by Kano, that has 5.4, and Kaduna has 4 million. The least is Ekiti, and followed by Bayelsa and FCT in Abuja here. In terms of gender analysis, the male has more with 44 million, followed by the female with 39.5. The youths has the highest number of registered voters. That's between the age of 18 to 35. That's 43 million. And we have the middle age at about 25 million. The elderly ones are, which is between the age of 51 to 70, is 12.7 million. And the old ones, which are 70 years and above, 3 million voters. And let's look at the zonal summary of these registered voters. We have Northwest with 20 million, and we have Southwest, followed by Southwest with 16 million, North Central with 13 million, South-South with 12 million, Northeast with 11 million, and Southeast has 10 million. Southeast being the lowest there. And looking at all this analysis, somebody said when this thing was out yesterday, said, so the minority are governing us because the whole, the 70 plus and above, the minority in this analysis by by gender analysis. What's your take on what was released yesterday? Does that increase the, do you expect an increase in turnout?
That's why I said they are really trying to mobilize the people. I think with this figure is about 15, 16 million higher than the last elections figure. I think this was also
14 million.
14 million. This was also affect, I believe so, will also affect the turnout. Not just only the figure, political awareness is also part of what will increase. Because a lot of people I've spoken to are telling me they will vote this time around, they will vote this time around. But last election, many people did not really come out to vote. They were watching their TV at home and telling you that a result has been written 2 weeks ago. Somebody told me that, a lawyer friend of mine. So I think this will affect the turnout, and we should not stop to still talk to people. Releasing figure is one thing, and people coming out to vote is another thing. And don't also forget that most of these figures are not 100% correct. So people have double registration. Let's not rule that out. I know of person those that are registered vote in Kogi and registered in Abuja, and he was given the card. He has his PVC. So the figure is good. I pray and I hope the turnout will be impressive. Will be not, if we can record 60% turnout, beautiful. It's always difficult to record 60% turnout in Nigeria. It's over between 30, 35, 40. But if we can record 60, it's good enough. That's why I was talking of the political party. The political party should do their homework. There's a figure that you left out of this, the students. Students in this figure is a total of 20 million students registered. And somebody was saying on TV this morning, if most schools are on strike, most of the students must have registered in their schools. Which means about 20 million people will not vote. Likely. If ASU goes on strike, about 20 million students will not vote. Now 20 million registered voters are students. So parties should look at this help party now to strategize on what they need to do in this coming election.
Yes, because that's actually leading me to the next question, that how will this figure affect political parties in their strategies?
That's what I'm trying to say, that they should strategize, they should look at, now we have youth that are more. The youth counts for about 42 million. Yeah. So why not look at things that will appeal to the young ones? I don't need to please the elders. They are only 3 million. So there are policies and they are close to departure lodge. They are not so bothered. There are policies,
but they are the one ruling.
Because they have more racks. They have more wisdom. They have more racks. So that's not the issue. The issue is we should, a particular party that is so sensitive now should look at what will appeal to the young men, what will appeal to the young women. But if you can do that, you can capture the heart of the youth. You are sure of 40 million votes. If all comes out to vote, you have already won the election. So don't you look at area you will concentrate on. You mention Lagos having 6.5 million voters. Look at area like Lagos. How do I increase the economy of Lagos? How do I appeal to people in Lagos? Look at Kano. What do I do for the Kano people? Look at the Northeast. Look at people that have, it helps to strategize politically. Because when you appeal to me, I'm end up voting for you. Like Christians, what do I do? How many Christians are here is not stated, and that is key to any election. Let's not just we try to hide it. Religion is key. It's key. I always tell people in my church, we keep shouting Muslim agenda. What is Christian agenda? Is it criminal to have one? So how do you also appeal to the people of this religion, to win their vote? So, but the campaign against one of the candidates in SDP primaries was the campaign they brought from a section of the country against him. The person you know very well is that he's a CAN candidate. He's a CAN candidate. Don't vote for him. This one is a Christian, but he's not a CAN candidate. Yeah. So that these are areas parties should look at. Religion is key. It's key. We cannot really.
Let me get your view before we go on break.
Talking about the number of figures released in the voters register, to me that should not make me to feel happy or whatever. The number we should see should be how many people have collected their PVC.
Yes. See, because some political parties raised that yesterday. You can have 80
million persons or whatever in the register, but how many people have collected their PVC? Thousands upon thousands, millions of PVCs are lying in INEC offices all over the country. People have not collected. So that is where we need to continue to mobilize. Tell people, if you made effort to go and register, went through all those hurdles and stress, why don't you make more effort to collect
And
it?
I think INEC is also making this election easier by saying you vote immediately after your accreditation. Yes. You don't need to go
that is the trend. Even CONAC, our organization, that was part of our cardinal recommendation when we made a report 2011 general election. Okay. And subsequently it was experimented in one of the states. And eventually, I think that is the trend. There is no doubt about that. But my concern now is many people have not collected their PVCs. And many people, because of the tense political environment, may be thinking of staying away. There are many people may be thinking of relocating from where they are now, like what happened in 2015, that many Igbo Southerners in the north all relocated home because they were afraid that if there's post-election violence, it may not all go well for them. And by that, they disenfranchised themselves. So, and eventually, there was no post-election violence. Now, I don't even anticipate any post-election violence in this coming election, because the two major candidates, front-line candidates of the two mainline parties, are both Muslims. They are both from Fulani tribe. They are all Northerners. So who should be fighting who? So I want to encourage people in the north, especially Southerners, Westerners that are in the north, not to be apprehensive, not to be tensed up. They should try to exercise their franchise. Then those who are Christians, especially got this Christian program, quite all right. We have to encourage Christians. You don't need to just sit in your church praying that things will go well in this election. Take steps.
Like the Prime Minister said at one meeting that churches should not organize vigil. On the day to election, you do vigil. Then on election day, you are sleeping.
You are sleeping. Then in the evening, you say, well, what is the result?
I think the tension now is less now compared to
to 2015.
election. You could not say mention a particular party in who is Suleja.
Yes. So now it's better because the two major parties, their candidates are
no tension.
Let's go on this break. We shall be going on a short break. Please don't go anywhere.
Why do we fall ill? Is it possible to stay without falling ill? Is God interested in our health? Can we get access to cheaper health anywhere? Do you want tips on how to stay healthy? Then join me, Angela Weze, on Health Watch every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. with repeat broadcasts on Thursday at 2 p.m. and Saturday at 1:30 p.m. as health experts provide answers to your questions on how to remain healthy physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually here on Anglican Cable Network Nigeria. God bless you.
At the King's Court is a program where we worship and praise the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords through various musical renditions. So join me, Eukaria Ozovehe, at the King's Court every Tuesday by 6 p.m. on this station, and it promises to be exciting and rewarding.
Hello there. Have you ever wondered why Jesus spoke in parables? What do you make of the word parable? Do you find it hard interpreting parables on your own? Don't worry. We have answers to those questions on Parables. Parables is a program that brings to bear what parable means and how it affects our day-to-day lifestyles, the church, the individual, and the society at large. Join me, Nzubechi Frank, as we explore the significance and the innate meaning of each parable of Jesus Christ. Coming to you every Saturday, 1 to 1:30 p.m. with repeat broadcast on Sundays, 7 a.m., Tuesdays, 3:30 p.m. and Thursdays, 7 a.m. from the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN. God bless you.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Mr. Lucky, as a businessman, what can you say that has been the effect of this government over the past 4 years that can possibly warrant people voting for them again?
For the past 4 years, as a businessman, I say business has been tough. And another thing that I feel pain as a businessman in Nigeria is that our economy is so structured by our leaders that everybody depends on government. It's one of the key things that is killing most businesses in Nigeria. It has really affected, because when this government came, because of the policies and the fear of investors, dollars rose to almost 600. And before you know, everything skyrocketed. People could not afford to buy things. Your salary was not increased, and it affected business a lot. Even up till now, business have not recovered. So it has not really worked for us as businessmen. But one thing I keep saying, the government should be able to diversify our economy so that people will not depend on government. Like when the government came, they said no more jotters, no more calendars, and almost every printer went to sleep. The policy is good, quite all right, because people were really using that to siphon money. These are pretty jotters, souvenirs, Christmas like this, the ministry will spend 1 billion to print souvenirs, which was a waste, really. But it affected people. The single treasury account, TSA, affected people because we are depending on government. If our economy is diversified, we are into productions, we are encouraged to do that, there is power, along the rest, we have not been affected. But truly speaking, as a businessman, this thing affected us because money was no longer moving, patronage was low, we just come to the office. And so, from business perspective, it will affect the current government when it comes to voting. But, you know, in every administration, some people will also gain. So people that have people in government, because in Nigeria, you need to have people in government to make profit. It shouldn't be so. Really, in a civilized world, it shouldn't be so. You don't have people in government to make profit. You don't need to be on government to make profit. But we have been structured in such a way that you need to have somebody in government or to be connected to make profit. It's going to affect them quite all right, but there are also a few people, individuals, that have also made a couple of millions for them. You know, it's always like that. I don't know, man. But to me, it's going to affect them.
As a church person, how will you say you felt, how will you say the church has felt under this administration?
Well, spiritually, the church is moving on. But economically, it has been tough. It has been tough. Let me start from even the angle that people may not look at. The number of beggars coming to pastors in a week is alarming now. Many people have been turned into beggars. People who cannot pay their house rent, they come to pastor. People cannot eat 3 square meals in a day, they come to pastor. After prayer, they say, Pastor, what do I do next? How do you answer them? If you don't do something, you won't find them in church again. So it has really been tough. And in fact, honestly, since this government came on board and the issue of reception came up, tithes and offerings in church dropped drastically. When I mean drastically, it dropped drastically. Even membership in the churches dropped because you call a person who has been very active, very regular, and they say, Pastor, I intended to come, but I didn't have transport to come. No money to buy fuel in my car, or no money to pick a taxi. Then the one who managed to pick a taxi gets to church and say, the little money I had, that is what I use for transport. So do you blame such a person if he didn't pay offering? So it has affected the church, and we have structures, we have programs that we need to run and maintain with money. So economically, the church has been affected seriously.
In your own opinion, what has the church done so far in sensitizing members towards this election? Or what have they done and what are they doing presently as the election is just few days?
Let me use we, because I'm part of the hierarchy of the church. So I'm a pastor and I'm a vicar of a church. We've been talking, we've been mobilizing. We are running a program now currently, Solemn Assembly, to begin the year in the church. And yesterday, when I was making the notices, even Sunday before, 3 days ago, when I was making notices, I asked them, how many of you have collected your PVC? During the Bible study session, I was going from group to group because it's divided into group, asking them, if you have your PVC, raise up your hand. If you don't have, I ask you why. Have you not gone to collect your PVC? Then during the notices, which was general, I made a statement that made them to laugh and laugh. I said, I want every person to raise up, and if you know you are, before God, you have your PVC and you are ready to vote. And many raised up their hand. They are now said, okay, those of you who have not collected, I'm giving you between now and 2 weeks' time. After 2 weeks, if you come to, when you are coming to come with your PVC, if you don't have your PVC, I will not give you Holy Communion. So they laughed and laughed and laughed. And I am doing that. Many pastors are doing that. Many bishops, many general overseers are doing that just to help INEC to achieve their goal. The last time I visited their Blantyre office, I visited the INEC director in charge of publicity and voter education, Barrister Ozi, and we discussed at length, and he asked, put this same question before me. I talked to him about the political symposium we had not too long ago in Basilica of Grace, and all these are just towards sensitizing the public to make sure that they go out to discharge their civic responsibility. And we are here today in the studio. Do you know for how many episodes we have run in this studio on election, on mobilization, on talking about INEC, on educating the public? That is what church is doing. And you say, what are we doing now? We are in the studio now. I abandon all other things to come here to talk. And we'll continue these programs, continue to speak to people until the election is done. And of course, the church is also preaching peace, that don't lose your head because of election. You need to be alive to enjoy Nigeria. So you don't need to fight on election day. You don't need to allow somebody to push you. We know there are a lot of anger in Nigerians. We should not vent it on election day. Let's try to be a bit calm. The program we are running in the church now is tagged My Year of Divine Peace. And we are saying that you should keep your peace. Let the peace that God has given to you, don't allow somebody to rumple it for you. Keep your peace. Let people around you feel that very peace. We feel that we should appeal to all Nigerians to to maintain peace and allow peace to reign.
Now, Mr. Lucky, let's look at political parties, their campaign. How will you rate the campaigns thus far, the atmosphere of campaign?
The method has not changed. It's the same method they have been applying. You come to the stage, you dance, you sing, you insult, and you go down. To me, the method hasn't changed at all. This was the same method 4 years ago. It was the same method 8 years ago. It was. I think we should go beyond. It's only the vice president that did something last time that impressed me, was going from street to street. We watched last 4 years, both campaigns done by the ruling government. The VP wasn't there. You see him in Lagos Street. I think it's also doing similar thing now. People are not really reaching out to people with campaigns. You need to tune to TV before you see them. And not everybody have that time. Campaign may be going on now. You're in your office. Yes. So that's, to me, it's just like a carnival. What they're doing is a carnival. It's like a jamboree. You see my former governor with broom dancing shaku shaku. That is not what we want. We want
very good in that dance.
We want you to talk to us. Tell us what you can do. Tell us what you can offer. The two major parties are doing the same thing. I don't know why. The next is come out, insult each other. You will insult, I will reply. That's not what we want.
And raise dust.
We want to see programs and policies you will place before us that will better our life.
Yes, because that's actually the challenge. A lot of people are saying there are not policy-based campaigns.
Tell us how you will drive the economy. Because I tell people, Nigeria is a poor nation. Nobody wants to believe currently. We have the means to be rich, but we are not exploring it. When I say Nigeria is a poor nation, we are the most populous nation in Africa. The world doesn't mean we are the richest nation in Africa. We said we are 180. I know the figure is wrong. If we want to go deep, I don't think we are more than 120 million. Yes, because during census, people pay in their villages for them to increase figures. Somebody has told me that, one man from Southeast, face to face, that they continue wanting to pay in their local government to increase figures because they know the figures will affect development. So let's agree we are 180. And our budget is $24 billion. South Africa, I don't think they're up to 80 million. Their budget is over $100 billion. Algeria, I don't think they are more than 60 million. Their budget is 40 billion. So it's like, why 80 people are spending 24, while 60 people are spending over 100. You can see that Nigeria is not a rich nation. But we have means to be rich if we can harness and if we can stop corruption. So people should tell us what they need to do to boost the economy. Because this money is not enough to go around. With the way they are packing it. It won't go around. The time will come, all of us will travel. Maybe we'll be airing this. No. Most people in my church this year went to Rwanda for Christmas. I'm telling you on holidays. A time will come, we'll be running this program from Rwanda. Most people are operating from Ghana already. So parties should come and tell us what they need to do to boost our economy before we start running this political platform from Rwanda. I will gladly go if you can give me a ticket. I'm not complaining. But please let them come and tell us how would they improve the economy. This money, 8 trillion, cannot feed us.
Yes, come in a little. Yes, I think I quite agree that the paradigm shift there's no major shift yet. Okay. But that is not to say that some people are not already raising issues. For instance, we should be fair to the ruling party. They have been trying to tell you that, oh, they have improved on lights, there is energy, they have done roads, they are telling you infrastructure, they have made some progress, though many people are also arguing that most of the things they are commissioning are things that were started by previous administration. We should be able to give honor to whom honor is due. If I lay foundation, raise a building to a lintel level, then you roof it and cut the tape, it's not you who conceived the idea. It's not you who started the project. So but it's another good thing that government is continuing. That is good that for once APC did well on that in trying to complete some of the project PDP started. Like I always say, even the issue of corruption, it was PDP government that set up ICPC, and EFCC and all this one. But at least they ran with this very program. But you also see PDP at the moment talking emphatically on restructuring. Atiku have been busy talking about the need for him to restructure if they give him chance. That he said he will restructure Nigeria, and that he said has bearing with economy. that once he restructured the country, decentralize everything, and give more power to the states, then states will now have the power to begin to tap their natural resources. That is one area now that even APC government is not talking again. They talk so much about restructuring. About diversification when they came on board. I had thought by now we see mining companies all over. Look at Kogi. They are my in-laws, but look at they have the highest number of minerals in Nigeria, but look at how poor the place is. No new company has come up. Even like a steel company, the steel company, Ajakuta, has not come up with all the noise about diversification. So these are some of the issues that PDP are talking about, that they will restructure, they will go into re-diversification and all that. To that extent, people are raising issues. Obviously, and other people are raising issues that they will do something. But I'm not seeing person talking seriously, telling us the roadmap to solving the problem of unemployment, which is a time bomb. They have not talked so much on that. Even the issue of energy, many people are still suffering. As I was leaving home just now, there was no light in my vicarage. We need to hear more how we can solve this energy problem. Look at the issue. All schools are down in Nigeria. My son has been at home with me for the past how many months now, and he doesn't know when to go back. People should tell us how these problems should be tackled headlong, and if possible, permanently. We know issues will come, but to a large extent, rest some of these issues that have been haunting us for years.
So if the political parties are not doing this, can we advise the media that as the debate is coming up, they can throw some of these
people
to put up?
Yes, it's part of what these are questions that should be thrown to them in the debate. But to me, you know me, I don't really bother much about debate. Last time I came here, I told you, you can tell me you will give me one power station my father's house. When you enter, you don't do, what will I do? I say wait for the next 4 years. My colleague there initially, I said, as a politician, told you. He said debate. What I say debate, I say you can say something in debate and do another when you get to power, like what they are doing to us now with diversification. They were singing it. Now the theory has changed. That's my fear with restructuring. You will enter now, your brass from one zone will tell you, you want us to go hungry? What do we have? Want us to go jobless? And you start thinking twice. The treasurer will call you. You don't know what you are doing. You want people to remain beggars? Where do you think money is coming from? It's coming from the central. So the willingness to do is key to our politicians. You can go to debate and speak grammar and speak English and speak phoneme. If you get there, you don't do it. What do we do? You can even go to debate and you stammer and you come out and you do something. So the willingness to do, let's appeal to their conscience. Our politicians should be, I will tell you that our politicians take their pocket first. That's the problem. Let's have national interests, not personal interests, not personal pockets. It's when we have national interests, this thing can come on board. If you have sectional interests, you will not do anything. You start putting your prayer in government. If you have a personal interest, you start looking for money to steal. But when you have national interest, you can easily do things. Our politicians will have national interest. If you take prayer to pray into their heart, let's pray into their heart.
No, it's not a question of prayer. It's a question of the people that are governing us. When you are talking about patriotism, national interest, having national interest borders on patriotism. Patriotism does not come from heaven. Prayer does not, put patriotism in people's heart. What brings about patriotism is when systems are working. If I see that police is interested in my welfare, in my security, and if anything happens to me, police response as at when due. You don't need to tell me to key into any policy that will assist the police. Naturally, it will come up. If I know that 24 hours there is light, you don't need to begin to teach me, or I don't need a pastor to lay hand on me to know that it will be good for me to pay NEPA bill. You see, these are the issues. If government is performing, if systems are working, then people naturally will want to be patriotic. in some of these socialist nations of the world, they make sure everything is working to the extent that a child respects the government more than the parents because he gets more from the government than the parents. So that automatically made the child to take his patriotism to 100%, you know, in his
thinking. These things were working before. What brought about this is not working?
No,
how did it get
greed.
here?
Greed. No, now.
Have they stopped being greedy?
No, greed, because don't see. What, there was a time I told
have they stopped being greedy?
We are
more people spent in Port Harcourt to get tickets.
We are a hustling generation.
$10,000.
See, Mr. Lucky,
to vote
Mr. Lucky, we must never forget this.
Yes.
We are a hustling generation. Many generations are trying to, many families are trying to break away from chronic poverty. And so it's like somebody who is almost dying in poverty, all of a sudden found himself in position of authority and there is money. He wants to steal the one for himself, for his children, and for his grandchildren.
Because we had a governor that the father is a billionaire. He never tested poverty one day. He still went to steal.
That mentality is still there. He doesn't want to go back. He doesn't want to go back to where he's seeing other people.
Okay,
so, but we need to begin to... Okay, Solemn assembly is going on in my church. Let them come. We will conduct deliverance for them.
Let me just appreciate you for coming. Let me appreciate Mr. Loke. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you for taking our time. Venerable. Thank you, sir, for coming today. And
I wish you and all our viewers Happy New Year.
Yes, because these are our first studio section this year.
Yeah.
We want to appreciate everybody for being for taking out your time to spending time with us today. If you haven't collected your PVC, please go and do so. And make sure you perform your civic duty as a citizen of this great country. This is how far we can go this week. Thank you for staying tuned. And hope to see you next week. Until we come your way again, bye for now.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and viewers and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN.